What's going on, guys? JJ's Cards here. Today we have a really cool video. We have a deck profile for the anime Cardfight Vanguard for the character Aichi Sendou. He's the main character in Cardfight Vanguard, runs his Royal Paladins, and alongside his main unit, which is Blaster Blade. So if you ever watch Cardfight Vanguard, I know I did. I love the show. It's really cool to be able to build this deck, and I hope to build the other ones too. So if you like this one, make sure to leave a like. Let me know what character you'd like to see next, and I'll get on building that. So we're going to start with the Aichi Sendou deck here, and you'll notice we have 3 starters. So at the beginning of the show, he uses the Stardust Trumpeter, which the Stardust Trumpeter is just a basic, grade 0. Then later in the show, he goes to Barkle. So he goes to him later, and then he ends with Wingle Brave. So depending on where you want in the show, you can use any 3 of these. Obviously, if you're going to be more competitive with it, you probably want Wingle Brave. If not, you could go with one of these 2. Just whatever suits your playstyle the best, or what you're trying to achieve with the deck. And so these are your 3 options. So we start with the starters. Very cool there. Can we get without a glare? Okay. So now we're going to talk about our grade 3s. So our grade 3s, we start with the first grade 3 that Aichi had, which is Solitary Knight Gancelot. So he was, pulled this in a pack. He was looking for a grade 3. Finally got it. In my final build, I do run 2 Solitary Knight Gancelot just to make sure that I see it. He uses it a lot in the show. So, this is an option that we'd like to use. So that's our Solitary Knight Gancelot. Our next grade 3 we're going to talk about is King of Knights Alfred. So King of Knights Alfred, it gets 2,000 for each of the Royal Paladin rear guards. So, they talk about in the show he has his full power when you're able to use King of Knights Alfred with all the other units. That's going to make it a lot better. So, King of Knights Alfred, I'm running him at 2. Then we get into a couple one-ofs. So the first one-of I run is Soul Saver Dragon. And Soul Saver Dragon has a really cool ability where you can choose up to 3 your Royal Paladin rear guards by Soul Blasting 5, and they get 5,000. So basically this gives a big boost to anything. And he runs this a lot in the show. Everything here he runs in the show. So I'm kind of going through the progression that he gets him. Where here we have Majesty Lord Blaster. This is what comes out of him getting Psyqualia, going to the Shadow Paladin deck, then coming back to the Royal Paladins. He chooses both, then he gets the power of, the Shadow Paladins and the Royal Paladins, and he gets Majesty Lord Blaster. Probably one of my favorite cards to ever be printed in Cardfight Vanguard. So I run one of those. And then the last one is Alfred Early. So he runs this, I think, a lot later in the show, but needed a copy of this in here. So those are the grade 3s I run. I run 7 of them. And we're going to get on to the grade 2s next. So obviously, it wouldn't be an Aichi Sendou deck without 3 of the main boy Blaster Blade. You could run 4, but, you only want to see it so many times. It is a really good card, but I had to find room to put everything else in the deck as well. So, I only put 3 in, but this is an option you could run at 4. But Blaster Blade, heart and soul of the deck. That's why I run him at 3. And the icon pretty much of the show for me. So Blaster Blade, run him at 3. Next is Blaster Dark, and I run 2 of these. This is his other, his avatar. Blaster Blade's his main avatar, then he goes to Blaster Dark before coming back. But Blaster Dark's really cool. It retires a rear guard, and it's really used for Majesty Lord Blaster as well. So Blaster Dark, I run at 2. The rest of these are all one-ofs, just because, like I said, if I put certain copies of, every card in the deck, it'd be way more than 50, and Cardfight Vanguard, obviously, you have to have 50 cards in a deck. So, we had to make, some not changes, but we had to limit the amount of cards we use. Solitary Knight of Silence Galatine, not Gancelot. Knight of Silence Galatine is a very iconic monster for Aichi Sendou, and so I had to put him in the deck, even though he's only a vanilla. Used so much in the show that had to go in here. Then we got a High Dog Breeder Akane, and he runs this quite a bit. That he uses in the show with some of his High Beast cards, so had to put her in. These are some of the more obscure ones. Oh, sorry. I do run 2 Knight of Silence Galatine. That's what I thought. This is probably one of the more common ones out of all these, so I will switch that. I ran both arts. I ran the trial deck and the set 1. Okay, so in here we have Knight of Loyalty Bedivere. This runs with the Knight of Friendship K as a grade 1 unit, but he runs this a lot in the show, so I had to put that in there. If you're going to run this, should run K as well. Then we have the Knight of Harp Tristan. He runs this a few times, and then this one, the Knight of Truth Gordon. He also runs this a little bit. Obviously, the main ones, the more iconic ones, are the ones on the left, probably right here. So if you're choosing between certain ones, definitely go there. Oh yeah, then we have one more grade 2, which is Star Called Trumpeter, which he ends up using a lot in the show. And yeah, these old cards are getting hard to come by. So I'm happy I'm able to get this deck and have it ready to go, that I can just go and play. I really like Cardfight Vanguard. I haven't been playing it much recently. I liked it through the original series, and then G was good. Then they rebooted it to V, which was fine. But then they rebooted it again and made all the old cards. It's premium, that's fine, but I just didn't keep up with the overdress. But I do really like this old stuff. That's why I wanted to show you this today. So, maybe alongside the Knight of Silence Galatine, I know it's only a vanilla, but this is probably one of the most iconic cards in Aichi's deck, other than Blaster Blade, some of those high hitters, but these are super iconic to the deck. So we run 2 Little Sage Marin just because it is so iconic to the deck. Next, we have Young Pegasus Knight, which, if you guys remember from one of them where he started getting a Psyqualia, he actually wins with 2 Young Pegasus Knights, because he gets rid of the one, and his opponent says he's not going to win with that because he got rid of it, but then he had another one. So I do run the Young Pegasus Knight at 2 for that reason. And then I run 3 of the Perfect Guard, just because, I don't think we need 4. If I was running it the most competitive, yeah, I'd probably put 4 in there. But I'd fit in so many things over here in the deck that, 3 is perfectly fine. We can run 3 and be good. So 3 Flash Shield Assault. And then I want to make sure I didn't do the same thing as last time. I would have done the same thing as last time. Yep. So I have 2 Wingull. Wingull, again, classic character. This is the trial deck art. This is set 1 art. And I wanted to put one of each in there, just like Galatine. Super cool card. Wingull. What else can you really say about it? We have Starlight Unicorn. That was used. Pongal was used. Just nice units for Aichi. We have Lake Maiden Lian. Knight of Friendship K. This is the one, it kind of goes with Bedivere, especially when it gets to V. It goes with a lot better, like those 2. But this has things to do with Blaster. So that helps a lot. And then we have Knight of Rose Morgana, which these are pretty, they're used. They're not as used as much as probably the top row up here, but super important cards to the deck. And then we get to this last part. The last part's just the triggers, which you have 16 in your deck. I tried to make it as realistic to the show as possible, but so we have 4 of the heal trigger. We have Maiden Elaine, and that's the one he uses. So we put that in there. I mean, these don't have super crazy effects or anything like they do now, but most of these are just vanilla. So I have 3 Bringer of Good Luck Epona. So that I was going to do the deck profile a little bit earlier when I made, if you haven't followed my TikTok, make sure to go follow my TikTok. But I posted something on my TikTok. I realized the Bringer Good Luck Eponas I had were from the V series. So I actually had to order these just to, get the deck. So that was a little bit of delay, but we got it now, and we're able to complete the deck. So that's 3 crits, and we added 2 Future Night Lu, which that completes 5 of our crits. I run 1 less stand trigger because obviously you want crits, and I still wanted stand triggers just for to be going along with the show, but I did want 1 more critical trigger in there. So now I run Flogel as a 2 of for my stand trigger, as well as 1 Silent Sage Sharon. So those are my 3 stand triggers. And I run 4 draw triggers, which is 3 Margul, because I remember this one the most. And I do run 1 Weapons Dealer Gavanin, which I think Margul's a little bit more memorable from his deck. So I did put 3 in there just so I saw that more often. But yeah, if you add those up, that's a total of 50 cards. Again, you're choosing one of these as your Vanguard to start off with. But other than that, these are what I have for my deck. So let me know what you guys think. It was a blast making this deck. Really brought me back to the start of Vanguard and why I really like the game so much. And it was just really cool that they had the show where he went to tournaments and stuff, which you never really see. You saw it in Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit, but like Pokemon, they have their own thing. Digimon, they have their own thing where they didn't really have a card game. This show is based on, like going to regionals, going to nationals, stuff like that. And that was really cool. So let me know what you guys thought, and let me know in the comments if there's any other character you would like me to do. I'm already working on some, but if you guys have a suggestion you would like to see, I would love to get that up for all of you. So this has been JJ's Cards. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.